Okay, press your red button.
Dayna Simmons.
Well, hello, Southeast Texas. We are so glad to have you joining us today. We have a great show with some amazing guests. We have Kristi Dourian with First Financial Bank on our show today. We also have Beau Jansen with Carter and Company and Lee Potter with American Air. A couple of things we can't wait to talk to you about today is our market. What's going on in this market? What's going on with the interest rates and our mortgages in this market? We want to talk to you about a few of those things. Then we're going to talk about how are upgrades going? What is the supply chain issues? What are some things you can do to improve the value of your home? Man, we've got a jam-packed show for you today. But before we get started, I want your guests, my guests, to kind of introduce themselves to you so you know who you're talking to. So, Kristi, let's start with you. Why don't you tell everyone just a little bit about you?
Well, thank you for having me back, Dayna. My name is Kristi Dourian. I work at First Financial Bank. I'm a mortgage loan originator there, so that means I do mortgages, purchases, and refinances on the secondary market. We also have other mortgage and house products, but what I do is secondary market. I've been doing this for, I think it's 12 years now. I love what I do. I love serving our community. I love being part of our mortgage market or our housing market industry here in Southeast Texas. It's the worthiest calling I could have chosen. Love working for First Financial Bank. We have a great bank. We love to serve our communities. And I am a single mom to Olivia. She's 12 years old and lived here in Southeast Texas, born and raised. And that is pretty much busy with me.
And Kristi, when you talk about the types of loans you can do conventional, FHA, VA.
That's right. Conventional, FHA, VA, USDA. We have some down payment assistance programs which are currently suspended. Don't know exactly what's driving that, but those are state programs that are suspended right now. But there are lots of different programs that we offer. We do refinances, we do home equity loans, we do home improvement loans, bridge loans, purchase with improvements.
The whole gamut of things, and we'll talk more about that here in just a minute. Beau Jansen, Carter and Company, new owner of Carter and Company, but you've been there forever. So talk about that.
I have actually been with Carter and Company since '98. Started at the bottom, worked my way up through all the different management positions in the company. I've been running all the jobs for probably the last 12 years, and then last year I actually assumed ownership from Mr. Carter. He started the business 43 years ago, and I've been with him through a lot of that, helped build a client base that we're really proud of, and just try to help service as many people as we can in the area.
Yeah, and you've been in Southeast Texas a long time as well.
I have, born and raised. I was born in Jasper. I've been in Southeast Texas my whole life. Been in the area. Finally moved to Beaumont almost 3 years ago.
Yeah.
You helped me with that.
Yeah.
And we're proud to be here. We're proud of everything that we do. I've got, I believe, I'm up to 27 on staff employees. Mm-hmm. So we do everything we can to take care of the customers.
And you do a great job. I mean, I can attest to that from personal experience. You guys have worked for us, not only for our clients, but also for me personally in a huge number of areas. And so I can absolutely attest to the quality of your work, and appreciate you being here to kind of share some of what you guys do here in just a minute. Lee Potter, American Air. Hey, tell us about you, Lee.
I will. So I'm Lee Potter, president of American Air Systems. We are in our 40th year. Southeast Texas has blessed us all the way through. We are a local HVAC and home standby generator company. We've got a great crew. We're trying to learn every day. We are fortunate enough that we actually are in the middle of our community awareness program where we're going to be able to give back to Southeast Texas. Our committee met Thursday. We have our top 5 possible winners of a brand new air conditioning system that they're going to get at no cost to them. Can't wait.
Oh yeah.
So
That's
it's
exciting.
it was, man. Well, we got to sit in on the committee doing their deliberation, and when you have some of Beaumont and Southeast Texas finest in a room, and they're fighting for the one that they like, it is worth every second. It's my favorite night of the deal. But that's coming. There'll be more soon. I'll make sure I get that out for everybody.
Perfect. Thank you. And Lee, your company too, been here a long time and has serviced not only us personally, but also in our business, and such a great company. And the thing that I love about the people that we have on our show, it's not just people that we just pluck from the air. It's people that we recommend and people that we've done business with and people that we want to make sure is going to give the people out listening the same great customer service that we expect, they also give. So I really appreciate you all being on the show today and being willing to spend your time on a Saturday to share a little bit with Southeast Texas.
You say that, I've worked with both Carter and Company and First Financial, still do. So yeah, it works all the way, and y'all actually. So
and when you've been in the business a little while, and you've been in Southeast Texas, it's so nice to do business with people who have been here a long time.
Yes.
You know, none of you, or I should say all of you, have been located in Southeast Texas and serviced Southeast Texas, not only in a business, but also in the community and what you're talking about, Lee, and giving back.
Right.
And that's what being in business in Southeast Texas means. It means giving back. I've witnessed each of you doing that, and that means so much to us. One of the things that we're going to share here in just a minute is a little bit about the market. And while we've seen market changes in the real estate side of it, you guys have also seen changes in the supply chain side of getting your materials and being able to provide for your clients in the same way. So we're going to come back here in just a little bit, and we're going to first talk about what is the real estate market doing. You hear the national news, but you don't always know what's going on here in Southeast Texas. Well, I'm going to give you some statistics for each county: Jefferson County, Hardin County, and Orange County. You're not going to want to miss that. And then Kristi's going to update us on what's going on with those mortgage rates. Things are kind of a little bit changing at this point. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So you're not going to want to leave. You're going to want to stay tuned, and we'll be back. This is the Dayna Simmons Show. Simmons with the Dayna Simmons Show, and I have some amazing guests with us today. I have Kristi Dourian with First Financial Bank, Beau Jansen with Carter and Company, and Lee Potter with American Air. And we are talking about all kinds of changes that are going on in our industry. Each of us has something that is different than what we've ever seen. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We'd love to hear your questions. So if you want to call in and ask any of these guys a question, don't hesitate to do that. We'd love to take your call. I'm going to start here just and give you a little bit of what is the market doing in Southeast Texas. You know, we've talked about the fact that it really is a fast-paced market. We are seeing that. We are seeing multiple offers on properties. We're seeing multiple offers over asking price on properties. We've seen a lot of things that are moving in the direction of a seller. It truly is a seller's market. And so what does that mean? What is a seller's market? First, a seller's market is if you have the number of months of inventory that you have is 5 months or less. Well, let me tell you, in Jefferson County, the months of inventory is 1.8. I've been selling real estate about 28 years, and I would have to say in my entire career, I've not seen months of inventory at 1.8. This is historical lows. So what does that mean? It means if you are thinking about selling your house, now is the time. There are buyers out there who are looking, who are not finding what they want, and we have a lot of them out there. So if you're thinking about putting your house on the market, now is a great time to do that. So Jefferson County, we see 1.8 months of inventory. Hardin County, we see 2 months of inventory, and Orange County, 2.5 months of inventory. So we are seeing a low inventory across all of Southeast Texas. So a seller's market is where we are right now. So what is that doing to the prices? Well, our median price for the Jefferson County area is $205,000. Our median price in Hardin County, this may shock some of you, but there's lots of new construction going on over there. Median price is $282,950, almost $283,000. And Orange County, a pretty good number as well. Median price there is $229,500. The same thing, lots of new construction going on in Orange and Hardin County. So how does that affect you? Well, as we see these prices go up, we're also seeing our interest rates go up a little bit. So, Kristi, talk to us a little bit about how are interest rates moving and what do you see happening and what do you predict for the future? With your crystal ball.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So, interest rates have been on the rise. I know that's not breaking news for anybody. Starting in about January, we started seeing the interest rates rise from the low 3s, high 2s, to where they are now, currently in the mid 5s, low to mid 5s. And that's quite a spike. In fact, I think this week we reached the highest we've seen interest rates in 12 years. But on the flip side of that, I think we've had a little bit of time to see how this is driving behavior in the marketplace for consumers. And I'm here to tell you it's not slowing down.
It's not.
It is not at all. I think I had a record month in March and in April. Looks like it's going to be a record for applications, mortgage applications. And surprisingly, refinances are definitely slowing down.
Right.
But they haven't slowed. I've still got a healthy mix of refis and purchases in my pipeline right now, which is odd. It's just, you hear the word unprecedented all the time in today's economic landscape, and it's true, but here's one thing that's not new. Interest rates do rise and fall. The best strategy to take through the changing interest rates is to focus long term. The average homeowner has their mortgage for less than 10 years. You're going to have 3 to 5 mortgages in your lifetime, so chances are you're going to be paying a higher interest rate at some point or another. But what you need to focus on is affordability. And speaking to a loan officer who really knows how to navigate this terrain, there are strategies and there are things that we can look at to help make your mortgage affordable. When you're looking at oh, well, 5 months ago I would have gotten a 2.875 on a 30-year. Well, yeah, but 25 years ago you may have gotten a 14%, or it's all perspective.
It is.
It really is. So speaking to somebody that knows how to kind of figure out strategies, like maybe you've got a home that you're trying to sell and you've got some equity to use and you want to put 20% down. Well, let's do 19% down and pay your mortgage insurance. Instead of paying it monthly, pay $1,500 to pay that premium in full and use the rest of what you were going to use to make that 20% down payment to buy your rate down. Well, now you're in a 30-year for 4.5% at $200 or less per month than had you made the 20% down. So there's lots of different neat little strategies that, an experienced loan officer can help you figure out and find.
I think that's the key. And one of the things that I do love about First Financial is that you don't just try to plug someone into the same program no matter who they are. You look at their situation. I've seen it with my own customers where they come to you and you really evaluate their situation to find the best fit.
Right. That comes really from, the longer that you work in any profession, you're gonna see things from a different perspective. You're gonna have experiences. You're gonna be able to know how to problem solve and put borrowers into the most suitable product that kind of checks all their boxes. And at the end of the day, let's just not talk about rate. What is my interest rate? That is such a conditioned response. As a consumer, we're told, ask what your interest rate is. Well, at the end of the day, that really isn't the most important factor whenever you're choosing what company to make your mortgage with. There are many, many other factors and strategies that need to come into play.
Absolutely. And we've seen from heartbreak in the past with people who have used like out-of-town lenders or lenders who aren't familiar with our area, or they've gone online and they think they're getting a great rate, and then
exactly, you get what you pay for.
That's right, and it's a challenge. And it's that way in life in general. You think you're coming out cheaper by doing something outside of the area. Listen, Ken and I were talking about that just earlier, weren't we? About a product that we purchased, and we thought, oh, we're going to purchase this from Timbuktu, and we're going to get it cheaper. That was about 10 years ago, and it has been a pain ever since. So sometimes, not sometimes, it really is. If you can shop local, stay local, work with someone who's in this community. Listen, Kristi, they're going to run into you at the store or somewhere.
That's right. I'm not going anywhere,
You're
so
not.
I've got to make sure I'm doing right by you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, put my borrowers into any product that I wouldn't choose for myself or put my parents into, my own family. That's how you're going to be treated at First Financial Bank. So
Right. And
we want you to have all of your goals met, and we want you to have a good experience.
And part of the benefit is First Financial is while they are local, they're also a state of Texas bank. So they have deep pockets and they have lots of great products in-house, as well as some of the products that you were talking about with
Yes.
HANDA.
And we have a fabulous commercial lending department, merchant services. If you're a business owner, there are so many benefits to speaking with one of our commercial experts.
Right, and we're going to talk to Lee Potter here in just a minute because I know that they utilize part of those services for his business as well. So any last tips you want to give somebody who's thinking about buying a house right now? What do you think should be their first step?
I just want to say, don't look at interest rates and decide that now is not the time for you. If you have a need, talk to a loan officer. Even if you have a mortgage right now that you think, I missed the window to refinance, speak to a professional, speak to somebody who can problem solve for you, because there are so many things that you may not know of as a consumer that you wouldn't know of unless you do this for a living every day.
Right.
Speak to somebody who can guide you and advise you in that.
Yeah, and that's the benefit of using you guys. I know about a year ago, Ken and I were thinking about refinancing one of our properties and talked to First Financial about that. And in the end, they were like, this isn't wise for you to do this. It doesn't
Right.
make sense for you with
There's
what
no
you have.
benefit.
There's
Yeah.
no benefit. And I love that. I love that they told me, this really isn't in your best interest because
Right.
it wasn't. They could have lined their pockets,
Uh-huh.
but they didn't. They chose to make a very loyal customer.
Yes.
So that's what I do love about you guys. Well, when we come back, we're going to talk more about what's going on in the market, the supply chain issues, and all of those things. So you're not going to want to go away. You want to stay tuned. This is the Dayna Simmons Show.
A few years ago, we decided to implement a client services team, which is also called our inside service agents. And the reason we've done this is to really step up our customer service level. It's a service we provide completely for free. A lot of people might not even understand what that means or why it's important to them as a consumer, but we are licensed agents trained on the market and know the current trends in mortgage information. We can answer every single A few years ago, we decided to implement a client services team, which is also called our inside service agents. And the reason we've done this is to really step up our customer service level. It's a service we provide completely for free. A lot of people might not even understand what that means or why it's important to them as a consumer, but we are licensed agents trained on the market and know the current trends in mortgage information. We can answer every single question just like an agent can, but the difference is we're not going to sell you a darn thing. There is no pressure. We're only here to answer your questions and guide you in the right direction. And when the time is right, we can get you set up with one of our awesome team members.
Show on News Talk 560 KLBI. To join the conversation.
Welcome back. This is Dayna Simmons, and I am joined today by Kristi Dourian with First Financial Bank, Lee Potter with American Air, and Beau Jansen with Carter and Company. We were just talking about the fast-paced real estate market and what's going on with all of the mortgages and how the interest rates are affecting us in our area. One of the things that I didn't mention in our last segment was that our days on market, our average days on market is anywhere from 75 in 75 in Jefferson County, 86 in Orange and Hardin County. So you can see average days on market, which typically in our market several years ago was about 120. So significant decrease in our average days on market, significant increase in our prices. We've seen even from March 2021 to today in Jefferson County, our increase is 8%. So that is a pretty big jump. We are not seeing that typically in the past. In the past, we'd see anywhere from 3 to 6% annually. An 8% annual increase is pretty significant. Now, what you have to think about though is that's not going to be 8% in every single neighborhood. That's just the average. So some neighborhoods may be going a little higher. For instance, when we're talking to you guys about how there is a complete shortage in your supply chain and the cost of materials going up, we're seeing our new construction properties increase significantly just because of those increases. So one of the reasons that we're seeing those jumps is the cost of material. So let's talk a little bit about that, Beau, because you're seeing that as well. So talk about how the challenges for you in trying to renovate homes and get a property to the place that a buyer wants it. So it may be either a buyer who's saying, hey, I want to make these changes, or maybe it's a seller who says, okay, I want to make these changes so I can get more money for my house. So tell me what that's like for you.
Absolutely. We're having issues, like I said, not only with supply chain, but with the cost of materials increasing. We've probably had 2 different 15% increases in paint in the last 6 months. Paint is actually one of the most difficult things for us to get right now. I happen to have an excellent rep who does an excellent job for me, but he's going as far as Corpus Christi, Baton Rouge, to get me paint for these projects.
But there's a great point. You've been in business a long time.
Yes.
You've built these relationships, which allows you to have these representatives who can work for you in that way. Not all people can do that, right?
Absolutely. No, absolutely. Windows, for instance, I don't care where you're ordering windows, it's 12 to 20 weeks, depending on which brand of windows you're going with.
Right.
I've had other builders call me and ask me, do you have a different avenue to get windows? No, I don't care if you're ordering one or if you're ordering 112. We ordered 112 windows for a job. It was 12 to 13 weeks.
Yeah.
We ordered one. It was 12 to 13 weeks for that specific brand.
The moral to that is if you're wanting to renovate your house, just be prepared.
Absolutely.
That time is not going to, don't think that, oh, I need to get it done in 30 days because I'm having this party at my house.
Yes, we do our best to not have any hiccups and run smoothly and have people on site every day. But with some of these, we're going to have some downtime. We're going to keep you livable. We're going to keep it as comfortable as humanly possible. And when we have customers who understand that, it's great for us.
And I think that's the key, is that up front you're talking to the customer about things to make sure that you're not making promises that you can't keep.
Absolutely.
Just like we were talking to Kristi, you guys have been in Southeast Texas for a very long time, and you too are participating in all of the things that go on here, and you run into your clients at the grocery store too.
Yes, absolutely.
So being honest and making sure that you have a happy client is important.
Yes, word of mouth has always been our biggest advertisement. I mean, we have commercials on television, we're on social media, we're in the newspaper, we're in different areas, but word of mouth is king in Southeast Texas.
It absolutely is.
It can build you up and it can kill you quickly, and we have been fortunate and we have worked hard to have
that reputation,
yes.
of quality of work, and that you do say what you're going to do and you do what you're going to say.
Absolutely.
Which can be kind of challenging. What else is going on your side of the market? Are y'all really busy? Are you seeing a lot of activity?
We are very busy. It's probably 4 to 5 bids a day, every day.
Mm-hmm.
When I get done with this today, I'm going to go home and work on bids.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to be doing.
So what do you see people doing? Are they renovating inside, outside? What does it look like for you?
It's a mix of both, but honestly, right now, it seems to be more need over a want. We are doing so many bathroom conversions to walk-in showers.
Oh, yeah.
That is the number one thing we've been doing. I mean, it has been constant. It's probably been a dozen in the last 2 months.
Right. Yeah. So people just needing to be able to have a walk-in shower, and it's a need, not a want, is what you're saying, where they can just not have to step over that tub.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, we do have an aging population, and I'm one of them. So I might need you to come to my house soon and do that. But so that makes complete sense that people are trying to keep their homes in a way that they can stay there and not have to do something else.
Yes.
Yeah.
And still be self-sufficient and be able to take care of themselves and everything that they need. So.
Right. So when we talk about the supply chain issue, we also talked a little bit to Lee earlier in the break. Tell me, Lee, how is that impacting you guys?
Well, with the air conditioning, we'll start there. Of course, down being in Southeast Texas, air conditioning is a need. And what we're seeing right now, and I will speak to my distributor and my manufacturer, which is Carrier, their top end of the line, the best equipment that they have, for the most part, first quarter and last quarter has been gone. They don't have it. We couldn't get the parts. They couldn't get the parts. And so those top end type machines weren't available. They are having to pare down their line, which is some of the changes that are coming, but to be able to build more machines of one style than a lot of machines of a lot of different styles, because they can't get copper, they can't get aluminum, and a lot of things like that. And we're fortunate enough that we've got a pretty good selection of stock that we floor planned in just in case for this. This is what we were looking ahead on.
Right.
Heat pumps this year will probably be one of the most sought after items that will not be found. And a heat pump is an outdoor condensing unit that allows both heating and cooling. The reason that they're not going to be able to find them is they can't find the parts, the reversing valve, the defrost board, and the accumulator. So manufacturers across the board are not going to have these things available. So those that have heat pumps, be prepared. And this is where you need to be able to talk to your professional and say, hey, what are my options? What can I do? What I've got, there's changes coming this coming year where the government, has decided that it's a good time to go ahead and make the minimum efficiency go up, which means manufacturers have got to completely retool their whole line. That's going to put another delay in what we've got.
Right.
And it's just gonna get difficult. And then in 2 years, or 3 years, we're gonna go through another refrigerant change. Again, it is just so much confusion and flux in the market that they're literally going to be putting brakes on what we can do. So
yeah, and I think the key from what both of you are saying is that it's so important. Like you, American Air, you guys have been here a long time. Again, we talked about it. You live here, you work here, you give back here. You were just talking about the wonderful giveaway that you're about to have, where you're going to give away a free air system to someone who needs it. So the thing that listeners need to understand is local, shop local, talk to people local. The ones who are local care about long-term impacts on you and on Southeast Texas. And so that's what I hear. You have the knowledge base because you've been doing it forever.
Correct.
And you see what's coming.
Well, and there are some great companies out there.
Right. Yeah.
And there's a lot of smart people, but there's a lot that aren't.
Right.
And so it's important to make sure that you have that connection. This is where these guys in the room, I can call y'all at any time and get the answer I need.
Right.
That's what's important. And that's where we have to pay attention to now more than ever.
Right. And so I think for us, it's not trying to, sound like, oh, things are doom and gloom. While things are challenging, what you need to know is that there are people out there who can help you navigate those challenges in a way that's going to benefit you most. Each of us in this room, we have a challenge in our industry, but each of us we've been through it before. We've been through hard times. We've worked through that, and we can help navigate our clients to make the right decision for them. And so that's why I love having you guys on the show and being able to say, everything's not roses and chocolate right now. We have a little bit of beets in there. But, well, some of you may like beets.
I do.
Oh, okay.
But there are options.
That's it. That's the key that I want the people to hear, our listeners to hear, is that while things may be challenging, there are options. Whether you're looking to buy or sell real estate, you have options. If you're looking for an air system, if you're looking to renovate, if you're trying to look at the mortgage side of things, there are options. So that's what we each want to do for you here. When we come back, we're going to talk about some other things that are happening in our area. And I'd love for you, Lee, to talk about generators a little bit. That seems to be a little bit of a hot topic too.
Love to.
So when we come back, we're going to talk to Lee about generators. If you have a question for any of these people who've been in the market forever and can help you, please give us a call at 409-896-KLVI. This is the Dayna Simmons Show, and we'll be right back.
Wheeling, bring it to Quiet Zone. You'll always get what you need
Our
and
last
nothing
segment.
more.
Cool.
One more and we're done.
At Claus Valley.
Welcome back. This is Dayna Simmons, and I have a job too. I have Dayna Simmons Real Estate, and after all that we've been talking about today, if you're thinking, she's talking about it's a great time to sell, I might be interested in selling. I would love for you to give my office a call. We have someone who answers the phone 8 to 8, Monday through Saturday, 1 to 8 on Sunday, and it's a licensed real estate professional who can answer your questions and give you whatever you need as far as information, and they will not try to sell you on anything. They just want to help you. So give us a call at 409-866-TEAM, TEAM, which is 866-8326. So that's my little spot. I'm going to give each of you an opportunity to give your little spot here in just a minute. We have some great guests today. I have Kristi Dourian with First Financial Bank. Beau Jansen, who is with Carter and Company, and I also have Lee Potter with American Air. And we've been talking about some challenges that we're each facing in our industries and what's going on in the world today. But one of the things I also wanted to hit on, Lee, was the situation with generators. I know that is a hot topic even in my own house.
Yes, ma'am.
We don't have one, and my husband wants one.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about if someone wants or is considering a generator, what should they do?
Well, there's a couple things. Number one, be patient. Generators can be anywhere from 3 or 4 weeks to some of them are over a year out in production. With Generac I'm a Generac dealer. But the other thing that I would like people to understand is if they're looking to get a generator is, all right, I'm getting a generator and why?
Right.
Beau is going to be in the area after a storm. He is going to have a place for him to go recharge and regroup and be ready to hit when that confusion of the next day hits. That is a perfect reason to have a generator on his house.
Right.
There are other people that say, "Hey, I lose power sporadically. I don't like the inconvenience of it." Again, another beautiful way of having one. Be very careful though if you're thinking about getting a generator to ride out the storm. Please understand that McDonald's and the convenience stores are not open. There may not be police or medical. There may not be the fire department. You are on your own.
May not have water.
It may not have anything. And these machines do require some personal maintenance on it. You need to be able to turn the machine off and check the oil. I mean, it's an engine, you know. So if we do our best to try to educate every single person we talk to let them know that there's certain things about this machine that you need to know and how to operate. And we try to go above and beyond. We do 24-hour tests on these things when they first go down, because if we're going to have an issue with the machine, we want to know it on a beautiful day like today and not during a hurricane.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
So, you know, there's just a whole lot of things. And it goes back to who are you dealing with, and are they professional, and are they doing what they're supposed to? And so generators are fantastic machines. I mean, they really can make your life easy.
Well, and I love what you say about maybe it's not for everyone.
It's not.
If you're just thinking about it for a hurricane, and your point is made that maybe you shouldn't be here.
Maybe you shouldn't.
Maybe you should be going somewhere
Yeah,
else
and it just
during
depends.
that. Yeah, for your safety.
So
Yeah.
it's education is key on these machines.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I know that's something that we've been talking about, like for our family as well. So I think we have a caller on line 1. Stephen, are you on the line? Hi, Stephen. Glad you called in. How can we help you? Sure. Yeah, Stephen, great question. So Stephen's wanting to know, how are land prices presented? Some people put their land on the market and they may have a higher value in one area of the county and a different value in another area. And Stephen, you're exactly right. It does depend on a lot of different things. One is elevation. So what is the elevation of the property? But when we're looking at pricing land, you know what we're looking at, just like when we're pricing a home, we're looking at what are the comparable sales. If there is property that is sold recently in the general area and it has set a precedent for the value of land in that area, then that's how we're going to price that piece of property. Are there sometimes sellers out there who just want to test the market and throw a price out there for their property to see what they can get? Absolutely. And some people are doing that. And you know what's interesting is sometimes they're getting these prices that are more than what anything else is selling for. But for the most part, how properties are priced is based on previous sales and previous closed properties. Does that kind of help you, Stephen? Yeah, I know. Thanks for calling in. So it's kind of like even what you guys are dealing with on pricing. You know, pricing property is similar to what you're dealing with. You have to look at what are things selling for. When we're pricing any kind of property, someone may say, well, a house 2 blocks over got this much dollar per square foot. Well, a house in 1 block may have a completely different value than a house 2 blocks over. There are a lot of things that you have to consider. Square footage, size of the home, age of the home, how the home is built. Does it have a foundation that is a slab or a pier and beam? So all of those things go into pricing. We were talking about pricing for you guys as well recently, and we were talking about the fact that it depends on what your people that you buy from are going to charge you. One of the things that we talked about is that timing on purchasing. For instance, you said that if you make an order one day, the pricing can go up within a week.
Very possible.
Yeah, that you're seeing those costs. I know I have a builder that I am working on a transaction with right now that he's having a fence put up for the client. And he bid that fence out and told the client, this is good 3 days.